Oh man, you won't believe what I did to my lazy housemate Jake last year. It was pure petty genius, but it left me questioning if I went too far. Picture this. Over the course of an entire week, I snuck into his room every single night and slowly unscrewed his light bulbs, one tiny twist at a time, until every last bulb in his bedroom was loose enough that the second he flipped the switch, nothing happened. Total darkness. He was stumbling around like a blind man in his own space, cursing up a storm, and it was all because he refused to lift a finger around our shared apartment. But here's the kicker. Was I wrong for escalating things to this level of revenge? Would you have done the same if your roommate was treating you like their personal maid? Stick around, because this story is wild, and I need to know what you'd do in my shoes. Let me take you back to the beginning, because to understand why I snapped, you have to know just how infuriating Jake was. I'm Sarah, by the way, 26 years old, working a full-time job as a graphic designer, and I pride myself on being organized and fair. About 2 years ago, I moved into this cute 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Seattle. Rent was affordable. The location was perfect for my commute, and the ad promised a chill roommate situation. Jake answered the ad. He was 28, a freelance coder who worked from home. Or at least that's what he claimed. He seemed nice enough during the viewing, tall guy with messy brown hair, always wearing hoodies, cracking jokes about video games. We split the rent 50-50, agreed on chores via a shared Google Doc, and even did a trial weekend where everything went smoothly. I thought, jackpot, this is gonna be easy. Boy, was I wrong. The problem started the very first week. Jake's idea of working from home meant lounging on the couch in his underwear from 10 a.m. till midnight, surrounded by empty energy drink cans, pizza boxes, and chip bags. Our kitchen, it turned into a biohazard zone overnight. I'd come home from a 9-to-5 grind, exhausted, only to find the sink piled high with his crusty dishes, literally crusted with weak, old spaghetti sauce. Hey Jake, I'd say politely the first time, mind rinsing your plates. It's our deal. He'd grin sheepishly from the couch, controller in hand, and mumble, yeah, after this level, Sarah. Promise. That, after this level, turned into, after this show, then, tomorrow, and suddenly it was a month later. And I was scrubbing his gunk off our pots while he snored through the night. It wasn't just the kitchen. The living room became his personal trash heap, socks under the coffee table, laundry draped over every chair like some abstract art installation. Our bathroom, forget it, his beard trimmings clogged the sink daily, and the toilet paper roll. He'd use the last square and just leave it there, staring at me accusingly every morning. I started keeping a chore log on my phone, tallying up his misses. Week 1, 12 dirty dishes ignored. Week 2, vacuuming skipped 3 times by month 2. He owed me $50 in utilities because he forgot to pay his share on time, forcing me to cover it to avoid late fees. My stress levels, through the roof. I'd lie awake at night, seething, thinking, why am I paying half the rent to live like this? I'm not his mom. I tried talking to him. Oh God, did I try. Casual chats over coffee. Jake, buddy, the place is getting messy. Let's divvy up chores better. He'd nod, say, totally get it, and then nothing. A big sit-down dinner where I laid it all out. This is affecting my mental health. We need a schedule. He apologized profusely, even wrote it down on his phone. Lasted 2 days. By month 6, I was at my breaking point. Work was piling up. I had deadlines breathing down my neck, and coming home to chaos made me want to scream. One night, I snapped during a particularly bad episode. I'd just spent 45 minutes cleaning up a spilled soda that he'd left sticky on the counter for days, attracting ants. Jakey, I yelled from the kitchen. He poked his head out from his room, headphones on. What? This is ridiculous! You're destroying our home! He rolled his eyes, actual eye, roll, and said, Sarah, chill. It's not that deep, I'll get to it. Not that deep. I felt my blood boil. That night, as I lay in bed, I scrolled through Reddit's petty revenge subreddit for the 100th time, reading stories of people getting back at lazy roommates. One post caught my eye. Someone loosened their roommate's shower head until it sprayed cold water everywhere. Inspired, but not quite. Then it hit me. Jake's bedroom. He spent 90% of his time in there, gaming in the dark like a vampire. And his lights. 4 bulbs in the ceiling fan, 2 in the bedside lamp, 1 in the desk fixture. 7 in total. What if I made his sanctuary as miserable as he made mine? The plan formed that very night. It had to be slow, subtle, no sudden blackout, or he'd suspect sabotage. Over a week, I'd unscrew each bulb a quarter turn per day, starting with the ones he used least. By day 7, they'd all be loose enough to flicker out completely. No fingerprints, no evidence, just faulty bulbs, he'd think. I felt a thrill of excitement mixed with guilt. Was this petty? Absolutely. But after 6 months of begging, it was time for action. The next morning, I bought a fresh pack of bulbs from the store, just in case he replaced them, and hid them in my closet. Operation Darkness began that evening. Day 1 heart pounding. I waited until I heard his snores through the wall around 2 a.m. I crept into his room like a ninja, door creaks minimized by oiling the hinges earlier. The air smelled like stale socks and Axe body spray. His fan whirred softly, casting shadows. I stood on tiptoes, reached up, and gave the first ceiling bulb a gentle quarter twist counterclockwise. Click, barely audible. No flicker yet. I exhaled, adrenaline rushing. Internal thought. This is for every dish, Jake. I slipped out, back to bed, sleeping like a baby for the first time in months. Day 2 bolder now. After his usual 1 a.m. gaming session ended, I hit the bedside lamp. Another quarter turn. He flipped it on the next morning, still worked fine. But I noticed him squint a bit. Rough night, he muttered to himself as I passed in the hall. Score 1 for me. That day at work I was buzzing, finally fighting back without a words. Day 3 desk bulb. This one was trickier. His room was a mess of cords and controllers. I had to move a pizza box carefully. Twist, done. He complained about a weird hum in his lights. I feigned concern, maybe the wiring, check it out. Inside, I was dying laughing. Day 4 second ceiling bulb. By now, the fan light dimmed ever so slightly when he turned it on full blast. He jiggled the switch. Nothing. Huh, he said aloud. I hid in my room, biting my pillow to stifle giggles. My emotions were a whirlwind empowerment, yes, but also a twinge of, is this who I am now? Still, the mess in the kitchen, untouched. Motivation intact. Day 5 third ceiling bulb. The room's overall glow was noticeably softer. Jake spent the evening gaming by the light of his monitor alone, cursing under his breath. Stupid bulbs. I heard him say. I almost cracked, but no. He deserved this build-up. Day 6 bedside lamp, second turn, now half unscrewed. Desk, another twist. Ceiling's 4th bulb. Only one left fully tight. He turned on the fan that night and yelpy. Why is it so dim in here? I called from my room, buy new bulbs. Dude. He grumbled, yeah, tomorrow. And now, we're at the midpoint of my revenge saga. So that's the setup. Jake's room plunging into gradual twilight. Him oblivious and annoyed, while our apartment still reeks of his laziness. I've got 1 bulb left to finish tomorrow, and then, boom, total blackout. But before I spill what happened on day 7, and the epic confrontation that followed, I need you to pause right here. What would you have done in my shoes? Would you have kept going, or stopped and confronted him again? Drop a comment below. Tell me exactly what your next move would be. Would you unscrew faster? Add something worse, like hiding his controllers, or call it quits. I read every comment, so hit me with it. Your input kept me going through this madness. All right, you asked for it. Let's dive into the climax. Day 7 midnight. Jake's out cold after binge watching. I enter his room one last time. The final ceiling bulb staring down like the cherry on top. Twist, twist, done. All 7 bulbs loose as a goose. I retreated, heart racing, and set my alarm for 7 a.m. Sharp, his wake up time. Morning hits. I hear him stir, shuffle to the switch. Flip. Nothing. What the? Flip. Silence. Then the bedside flip. Black desk flips. Abyss. He stumbles around, phone flashlight on, muttering profanities that would make a sailor blush. Son of a... Every damn light. I time it perfectly. Emerge from my room in pajamas, coffee in hand, innocent as pie. Everything okay, Jake? He whirls around, beam hitting my face. No. My room's pitch black. All bulbs out at once. This is haunted or some crap. I bite my lip to hide the smile. Weird. Maybe they all burned out. You should replace them. He groans, grabs his wallet. First time I'd seen it in weeks, and heads to the store. But here's where it escalates. While he's gone, I didn't stop there. Inspired by the darkness, I took 20 minutes to deep clean the entire apartment. Dishes done, floors mopped, trash out. When he returned, bulbs in hand, he froze in the doorway. Spotless. Whoa, Sarah, did you? Yeah, I said, voice steady but eyes fairy. I did. Because for 6 months, I've been your maid, your bill payer, and then you. Zero effort. So last week, while you ignored me, I ignored your lights. 1 twist a day. Enjoy the dark. His face, oh God, priceless. Jaw drops. Eyes wide, then laughter. No shock turning to shame. You unscrewed them. That's why it got darker! He sank onto the couch, head in hands. Sarah, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was that bad. I've been depressed, gaming to escape, but that's no excuse. We talked, really talked, for the first time. He admitted his freelance gigs dried up, leading to a spiral. But my revenge? It snapped him out. That afternoon, he installed the new bulbs. I made him buy them, then joined me for a chore blitz. By evening, the place gleamed. Over the next week, miraculous, he paid his back utilities with interest, set up a chore app with reminders, even cooked dinner. Edible stir-fry. We laughed about the Lightbulb saga, turning it into our inside joke. Don't make me go dark again, I'd tease. But the aftermath wasn't all rainbows. A month later, Jake landed a steady job and decided to move closer to it. Better for both of us. He left on good terms, even helped find my new roommates a clean freak, thank God. Rent checks. On time till the end, me. I felt vindicated, but reflective. That week changed me. Taught me to set boundaries earlier, communicate firmer. No more doormat Sarah. And the apartment stayed pristine. Woo, what a ride, right? Looking back, my Lightbulb Revenge was the push Jake needed to get his life together, and it saved my sanity. The moral, sometimes, a little darkness illuminates what's wrong. Petty revenge isn't always wrong if it leads to real change. But tell me, were you Team Sarah all the way? Distance. Like this video if you were on my side and would have twisted those bulbs yourself. Subscribe for more insane Reddit style stories from my life. I've got tons more where this came from. And hey, share your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments. Best revenge you've pulled. Or would you have done it differently? I'll see you all in the next story.